it makes perfect sense of what could have happened if you factor in some other things. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. So everything I share with you is alleged speculation and my creative expression. When talking about the Kansas City 3, all right, what we know is very little. We know that 3 men were found with snow on them. We don't know they froze. We do not know that. They were found with snow on them. One on what was called a porch, but it looks like more like a patio. And 2 in the backyard. All right. So in different locations, which is strange if you're looking at it the way we have been. We have the other member in the house, Jordan Willis, who is the renter of the home. He's a scientist, and he is an important scientist. I've done some research. Now, I invite you to go do your own research, but the company that he is the lead in, he is the, big dude in, has direct connection to Bill and Melinda Gates, and it is inoculations for HIV. And I really began to wonder, if you're that smart, I'm over here in the Idaho 4 case with a college student that is going for his PhD doctrine in criminology, committing one of the dumbest crimes I've ever seen in my life if it was him. And I have a problem with that. Sorry, I hit the mic. I have a problem with that because he's too smart for that. I have the same problem with Jordan Willis. He's too smart to have just simply had 3 friends die, and he's like, I'm going to put them in the backyard. I'm going to just close the door and act for 2 days like I don't know they're here. I think I just don't think he's that dumb. If you killed your friends, are you going to leave them on your property? If you're that kind of a person, even if it was by accident, if you're not going to call 911, you're not, then why not attempt to hide the situation? I'm just trying to think from a criminal standpoint. And I was also looking at the fact that, everybody wants to be like, over in the Idaho 4 case, we're looking at the sleepers. That's what I call the roommates that survived, or the sleepers that just allegedly Bethany, whatever she was doing, and then Dylan seeing the person and all this, and we forever have been stuck on how could that have happened for 8 hours and no one called 911. Well, they got nothing. Dylan and Bethany have nothing on Jordan. It was 2 days. There is a point, Kathy Stacy says, there's a difference between book smart and street smart. And there's a difference between book smart and common sense, too. I get it. I got to thinking about the situation. And in this scenario that I'm about to share with you, I want you to just be open-minded, all right? So, what we do know, what we think we know is that 4 men, maybe more, went to Jordan's. They met up. They all went out and went from place to place and watched the Kansas City Chiefs win a game. Came back to Jordan's to celebrate. Allegedly, the 5th friend that we don't know the identity of at this point, or at least I don't, has somehow made a claim. I didn't hear it from him, but somewhere it came up on the news, that he went back home a little after 11, and when he left, all the friends were playing Jeopardy. And Jordan claims that he was on the couch, right? That he was on the couch. But before he laid on the couch, he walked or saw his friends to the door, not out the door, but to the door, and then he crashed on the couch. Allegedly, the friends are all outside in the backyard, as I explained, and in the house, allegedly on the counter, are their billfolds, their phones, and their keys. For 2 days, the vehicles sit out back, and his friends are there. 3 friends are dead. Jordan allegedly never leaves the house, never looks outside, and just sleeps the 2 days away. Hard to swallow. Jenny says, still clueless, only hearsay so far. I know people who do know the deceased, and they don't believe what's being said. Now, Jenny is from the area. My gut tells me a lot. And I don't always share it because I don't always know how people will take it. However, this is just, you're not going to put their keys on the counter. You're not going to take their billfolds and put them on the counter. You're certainly not going to put their keys on the counter. All this incriminating evidence on your counter. I just can't. It wouldn't happen. Jordan's too smart for that. Why even take their keys? Why not make it look like they were ready to leave? Right? Plays against him. Doesn't make no sense. So I was like, okay. As you know, some of you know, I do also, above and beyond the analytical readings, I also do tarot cards. And in that, it showed me a completely different scenario. And when I began to logically walk it out, and that's what tarot is a rough general guidance towards the direction for you to do your research in. It does not show fact. It does not show law. It just shows you a way to go. And I was thinking of this HIV vaccine and all of this stuff, and Jordan and him being important. And then I was thinking, does Jordan have any enemies in becoming Mr. Oh So Popular? Now think about it. We just had a pandemic. We have a lot of people that are anti-vaxxers, all right? So I was like, if anything could happen here that would make sense would be if someone set Jordan up. In other words, up to the point where Jordan says he walks them to the door, I'm on board with. I believe they had their keys. I believe they had their billfold. I believe they had their phone at that time. I believe that they left Jordan's house and went outside. Now, a couple things could have happened here. Somebody could have come to the backyard through the gate and met the guys with something laced. And it killed them all instantly. And the person removed the billfold, the phone, and the keys from all the men. And Jordan did say he left the door unlocked because the guys like to come back sometimes. And to incriminate Jordan, because that's what that does, right? That points right to Jordan. The one living at the house with all the men's stuff. Go in there and set him up. Put the keys down and the billfolds and the phones, because you're not going to be... those men did not put their shit on that counter. There's no way. What man is going to put his billfold on the counter with his friends and his phone? I could see the keys. You're drinking. Everybody put your keys over here. Yep, that I can go with. Keys, no problem. Billfold and phone? No, I can't. And so I've been beginning to wonder, could the men have left with someone if somebody didn't come in through that backyard and that gate and maybe pass a lace joint, right? Somebody that maybe has a tolerance, or maybe they were like, here you guys, here's a joint for you guys. I just smoked. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Out of here, right? That could have happened. Or did the guys leave with someone, like somebody come over to the house, or maybe that friend was like, hey guys, come on over to the house. I'll ride you back. I'll get you back, because they didn't want to drive. And so they hop in the friend's vehicle that was with them all night, and they all go somewhere, and something bad happens. Right? And then they're like, oh shit, what are we going to do? We got 3 dead bodies. I know. There are vehicles at Jordan's. Let's just dump them there, and then we'll stick all their stuff on the counter so everybody thinks Jordan did it. And to make sure that Jordan doesn't wake up, could they have put something in that glass that he carried around by his bed? Like, if somebody's passed out from drinking or whatever, could you have laced their little drinking cup? Because the first thing they're going to do when they wake up after drinking a lot is chug the water, which could have been laced as well. Is this a conspiracy? I'm not afraid to say the word. Is somebody an enemy to Jordan, wanting to implicate him in this to gain some control in Jordan's world with his big company? If his cup was laced and he wasn't up, if he wasn't awake, he wouldn't be answering nobody's text. Now, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm saying, what if? I want to look. I always want everybody to be innocent until we figure out they're not. In other words, I need more proof to be like he's guilty. I can't just stamp that guilty sticker on Jordan until these things have been seriously looked into. The fact that when you do your research, instead of just drawing a conclusion, do some research on Jordan. He's a very powerful, I mean that, very powerful individual. Very. He would, in my personal opinion, have enemies. How would you take down a person like that? Well, if you knew they were going to have friends over, you could set them up for the murder of said friends. It's not impossible. And the fact that the men are in different places, it almost feels to me like they brought the bodies back. And they didn't want to carry them really far. So they carried this one as far as they could, this one as far as they could, and they just leaned this one up. Let's play a little game here, all right? Prove me wrong. Because like somebody said today, I made the comment, could Jordan be set up? And the bodies have been moved and Jordan be set up. I put it out there. And the commenter, the poster said, no, they died there. And I said, how do you know? So I'm asking you, not what you believe, but could that have happened? Open your mind up. Is it impossible that the men left, went somewhere, got like something happened to them, and the people were like, oh shit, take them back, dump them off at Jordan's, lay their keys and stuff on the counter and get the hell out of there? The Rippers say this case is so strange, it is always a possibility that you are right. And that's what I'm saying. We don't want to lock in that Jordan is guilty until we have an idea of what really took place. Yes, it's super, super suspicious. But even Dawn Wells knew to hide the body. Are you following me, lovelies? I find it very extremely bizarre beyond. Okay, first of all, I appreciate these families having a very difficult time. I can appreciate what they're going through. I can. I can't imagine, but I can appreciate it and understand it. But at the same time, I've heard one family member say something and the next family member contradict that person. And so I don't know if I can believe that the messages were actually read. And I did hear a couple of things that family members said that are, I don't believe them. I read energies, and there was an energy, and I listened to this person, and I did not feel okay with it. And I was like, something's not right there. And I'm not going to get into detail. I'm just going to say, I'm here for the victims, no one else. I want to figure out what really did happen. Toxicology report, allegedly, everything is, can take 4 to 8 weeks. And so we've had a couple weeks under our belt, maybe a month, 6 weeks. We should find something out. None of us know if he looked at his phone. That is hearsay. That is what someone has said, and she got it because I listened to the way she said it. And she said, I've heard from family members that they think he read the messages. That is telephone game. I need to know from a source that those messages were showing up read for Jordan. Number 2, how do we know that Jordan had his phone? Because what a great way to add to the setup. So let's play this game. All right, so I'm going to try to frame this person in this hypothesis. All right, so I take 3 dead bodies, I put them in their yard, I put all the individuals' personal belongings, their keys, billfold, and phone all on the counter, and then go take the other guy, Jordan, sleeping, go take his phone. And then all I gotta do is watch and see, right, all the messages. And then when I know the cops have been there, destroy the phone. Right? Now what happens, Jordan, the cop's going to be like, Jordan, we need to see your phone. And he's going to be like, I can't find my phone either. Oh, you look more guilty now. But we don't know if that's true, because we don't know. Does Jordan have his phone? Did he have his phone? We haven't heard that. I would love to have some time with that lawyer. Jilly Lane says the most important thing, and that is, this is very sad for their families. Absolutely, I agree. And if I were their families, I would stay the hell off of all social media, including YouTube, to focus on my family and my healing, because this isn't the atmosphere for anybody that's going through, and especially if the pain is so raw and so real, this isn't where you need to be. So Flossie May says, depending on if it was Facebook Messenger or iPhone messages, it would definitely show if he opens them. Well, it would if he had his phone, but do we know if Jordan actually had his phone? And do we know, is there any proof? I challenge a family member that's out here, that's already put themselves out there, that is making the claim that Jordan read the messages, screenshot one message with Jordan's bubble. Screenshot it, post it. I challenge you. And the reason is you've already, as a family member or friend, put yourself into this by putting that out there in the media, and you've made yourself a little place, a space online that you are projecting this information. Now show the receipt. There's no reason not to, because it's not a homicide investigation. It's a death investigation. So show us where Jordan's bubble pops up. Why haven't I seen that? I'm here to challenge your critical thinking so that you do not just get in line with all the sheep that say, well, this is how it looks and therefore that's how it is. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. I'm telling you right now, I have been through so many cases. I jumped to conclusions later to find out that somebody else did it all. Chloe. Remember Chloe's case? I blame the parents. I still feel bad for that. Because I assumed that there was no way in hell anybody was going to sneak into the tent where the parents are sleeping right there and nab a kid without waking the dog and the parents and the other baby. And I was like, there's no way. But guess what, y'all? I was wrong. And I'll admit it anytime anybody asks me, I was absolutely dead wrong. And thank God Chloe was fine. She was saved. See, Dana Lynn's starting to think, right? What if Jordan was drugged too? That's my point. The difference being, Jordan was in the house where it's warm. Virgo 22 says Chris Como had the lawyer on and brought Jordan's phone records. And Chris put it on the screen. If Jordan, okay, no, I will rephrase that. Jordan is a very important, powerful person in the inoculation world. All right? So if he did discover something, or he's in some sort of breakthrough that would cure HIV, that won't be allowed to happen no more than a cure for cancer is allowed to happen. And then these three are collateral damage to frame Jordan and ruin his career. And in that, they probably drugged Jordan as well. And I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm saying until we get the toxicology report, until we understand the autopsies, until something points to actual guilt, I cannot assign guilt to Jordan. I can't. No more than I can assign guilt to Brian Kohlberger. And I do jump on the bandwagon for the first day or so of everybody. I'm like, they found the guy! And then I'm like, whoa, wait, what? What do you mean all the evidence was sitting on his own counter? We preached in the Idaho 4. Why would Brian Kohlberger use his own car? He's not stupid. He's a PhD doctorate. He wants to be in criminology. We're like, he's too smart to have driven his own car. Well, isn't Jordan a little bit smart? Jordan is smarter than Kohlberger. And I don't care, common sense or not, you would know that you're not going to get away with murder if you put all of their personal items, their billfold, their phone, and their keys on your counter. Because everybody's going to know the men didn't give up their billfold or their phone willingly. Everybody knows that. There's no man alive that you're going to arm wrestle their phone away. It just, no. And so that's pretty incriminating. But the fact is, I believe Jordan's too smart to have done that. So then the question I'm going to leave you with today is, who would have put the phone of every man, the keys, and the billfold on Jordan's counter? I want to say thank you. You guys, you make my day. You make my day every time I get to talk to you. And without you guys, my life would be pretty boring. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because you matter. You matter to me. I pray we do get justice for the Kansas City 3 and the Idaho 4. And with that, my lovely Luz, I am out of here. Until I read with you again.